the hub world. This allows me to get to an upgrade which I need at some point later in a much cooler way than intended, but I messed it up here unfortunately. It's a bit tricky. It doesn't actually save time, I just like doing it because it's cool. Give me a quick second here, we should have this pretty soon. There we go, so now here I got the upgrade. Don't need it right now, but I'll need it later eventually, so while I'm here I might as well pick it up. And now I'm gonna head to the second boss fight rather, which is Egg Hornet. So Egg Hornet is mostly just waiting through attack cycles and like a couple of attack cycles around like 20-something seconds, and then he does a drill attack where he comes down and drills into the floor, and then you can just spam homing attacks into him and get all 3 hits immediately in one cycle. Pretty straightforward boss. On the PC version with English voice lines, there is actually a voice line here that causes lag. That can you cause to miss the one cycle. But you can just delete that voice line from the files and you won't get the lag, so that like this you can consistently get the cycle. And now we're picking up the stone, which is a key to get into the next stage, which is Windy Valley. Windy Valley is like the most linear stage, I feel like. But we still have a couple of cool kind of sequence breaks at the beginning. So what I'm going to do in Act 1 is I will clip through this wall right here, and that puts me into Gamma section of the stage. So each character goes through the stages in different ways, and this part is supposed to be for Gamma, but if we clip into it with Sonic, that's quicker to end Act 1. And now we're in the Tornado here, which also has a bit of a skip here. So there's these pads that you're supposed to jump on, and I just completely missed it. And if you spin dash on it, you can do a small skip. I keep doing the same thing again. Good job, me. There we go. Ugh. I did it well yesterday when practicing, I swear. Okay. There we go. So this is called trampoline skip. So basically, if you spin dash onto the dash pad and onto the pad, and then a homing attack off it at the right time, you can skip a bit of a sequence where you're supposed to jump up with a trampoline. Saves like 10 seconds or something. I'm not sure. The trampoline is kind of slow. It seems pretty unsuspecting, but saves more time than you think. Anyways, the rest of the stage is a lot of like these paths just rolling down. On downhill sections, you don't want to spin dash chain, you just kind of want to roll because that builds up momentum. Also, what you see a lot of times is me pausing and doing a little bit of menuing. That's me changing the camera mode. So basically, there's 2 different camera modes in this game. One is auto cam, and one is the free cam. So auto cam is the way, kind of like the way the developers intended you to move through the stages. So it's a bit more cinematic, a bit more stable, and but you don't have a lot of control over it. And there's free cam, which you have a lot more control over, but it's a lot more unstable. So depending on what section you're in, you want to use different camera modes, and you just kind of have to know which one you need at what given time. So now I'm gonna head to the next stage, but before I get there I have to jump into the sewer of the city really quick and pick up an upgrade. The upgrade is allows me to do the light dash, which is basically charging up a spin dash and then moving along a trail of rings, but I'm not actually going to use that. You're intended to use that to get out of here, but I'm just going to use this these stairs here, which are a slope, and spin dash jump out of it. So if you spin dash jump on a slope, you gain a lot of extra height from it that you normally don't get. And as I repeatedly fail to demonstrate, you can use that to just jump straight out of the sewer here. I'm doing not great with this. Okay, here we go. That took a while, but we made it eventually. So now that I've picked up this this upgrade, we can head to the next stage, which is Casinopolis. Casinopolis usually takes a whole lot of time because you have to collect 400 rings in throughout the stage and in some mini games. I forgot to change the camera mode. So this is what happens when you're in the wrong camera mode. This is how it's supposed to look. But yeah, the stage usually takes really long. And I can't find the door. But I can only take a couple seconds if you do this. Then I jump around, and at the end, so that took like 10 seconds. So I basically clip out and move around a couple of kill planes and invisible walls. And that allows me to skip everything I have to do in the stage, which is fantastic because the stage is really annoying casually. Next stage coming up wants me to pick up another of these stones to enter the stage. This is the ice stone, so we'll get it here to get into the next level. It's possible to skip it, but so far it's like mostly just like a theory strat. It's not really used in runs yet, not even on a world record level as far as I know. It's been done in real time, but it's not viable for runs yet, or not used rather, as far as I know, unless somebody started doing it, which I am not aware of, in which case I'm sorry for ignoring you. But yeah, we're getting to the next stage here, Ice Cap. So Ice Cap also has 3 acts. We're not gonna see much of any of them. So stage 1, I'm just gonna use a spin dash jump to get up here, which skips all of Act 1. Act 2, I'm gonna do a spin dash jump around here and clip through the door, which skips all of Act 2. And Act 3, I'm gonna walk into the wall here and just fall out of bounds and fall to the end of Act 3. So that's basically Ice Cap. Now I hold forward for like 40 seconds. And that's the stage. So you're gonna notice right now the timer is frozen. So that's more or less intended. That's not a glitch. So usually when you enter Act 3, the timer freezes while you're still in the cave. And then as you progress, you get into a snowboard section. And then the timer restarts. But because we just clipped out of bounds before making it into the snowboard section, we never actually get the timer to restart, so the timer just stays frozen until the end of the level. Which is very convenient for ILs, because the whole of Act 3 doesn't count into an IL when you IL the stage. That was actually a really good Ice Cap. That's much better than my average, which is really nice that something actually went well, because so far this run hasn't been going too great. But really happy with this Ice Cap. So, speaking of things not going well, next up we have Chaos 4. Well, actually, next up we have a boss fight with Knuckles, in which he says, "Oh no." So you just kind of hit him. That's it. And now, speaking of things not going well, we have Chaos 4. So this boss is horrible. It takes really long and can lose you a lot of time. So this boss always follows certain patterns. So he does 3 movements, then an attack, 3 movements, then he gets vulnerable, and then he repeats that a couple times. He can do different attacks, and you always want him to do the red shockwave or the splash attack. These are the fastest. So this is the red shockwave that was good. If you get unlucky, you can get an attack where he splits himself up into 4 balls and jumps around the stage a little bit. And if you get that, that loses like 10 seconds. And if you have an optimized PB, that means run that to bad luck. But luckily, we got lucky this time, so we got 2 red shockwave, which is amazing. So we're not losing time here. That's great, because yesterday I did practice runs. I got the blue balls attack on every single run. And that's good that I got the bad RNG out of the way. So this boss has 5 phases, and you can only like really get, under normal circumstances at least, you can only really get the blue balls attack on phase 2 and 3. On the other phases you can very consistently avoid it, so you don't really have to worry about it. Phase 3 is a bit longer than the other ones, so here he does 3 attacks before he gets vulnerable. So you just kind of have to sit through these. So the boss fight is supposed to end in like 10 seconds roughly. Until then we just jump around the stage a little bit. And now he comes out of the water and we hit him. And that was Chaos 4. So now Eggman shows off his floating masterpiece, the egg carrier, which means Sonic and Tails have to chase after him and get into a plane to get onto the egg carrier. So this is a long auto-scroller where I'm supposed to like target things here and shoot them and collect points, but I don't like doing that. I just like sitting in the corner and take a break here. So this takes like, I don't know, 3 minutes. If there are any announcements or donations, anything the host would like to say, now would be a perfect time.
Well, we don't have any donations to read at the moment, but I would like to remind folks of the various incentives that we have going on, so the various bid wars, bid battles. We do have the bids for the SpongeBob Truth or Square run that's coming up not too long from now, choosing the costume that our runners will be wearing. We also have in King's Quest V, deciding Manonan's fate. There's no bids for that right now, so if you want to put some dollars towards that and, take leadership of what will happen to him, you have the opportunity. It's up to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know how much longer you have on this.
I have a while. Yeah, keep going. I thought you were done.
Well, all I was going to say was if you're putting those dollars in, they're going towards the Trevor Project, which is the leading national organization providing crisis intervention and suicide prevention services to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning youth. You can check them out at thetrevorproject.org to access their services, find out more, or to donate.
Yeah, please donate. Very, very important cause, and thank you so much to the marathon organizers for doing this and letting me show off not one but 2 whole games, which is amazing. I'm very happy to be here. But yeah, there's another one of these auto-scrollers in like, I don't know, after like 10 minutes of gameplay after this, so it's like 3 stages, and then we have another one of these. So if you want to donate in the meantime so that there's some donations to read in the next one, that would be amazing. But yeah, we're at the end of the auto-scroller now. We covered the time somehow. These are not as annoying in speedruns if you're doing PB attempts as you might think, because you have a decent amount of gameplay before them, so you don't even get to them in every run, and if you do get to them in a run, you have some time to take a break and get something to drink or something, which is pretty nice. But yeah, always a bit awkward sometimes in marathons when you have the time to fill. But anyways, we're back into gameplay. So first of all, I have to meet up with Amy here. And then we head to Twinkle Park, which is the next stage. So Twinkle Park has 2 pretty scary skips coming up. Both of which, if I miss them, they lose 20 seconds. So the first one is in this karting section. I missed the kart, so I'm kind of screwed up the beginning, but it's fine. So there's a skip coming up here, which is called Track Skip, and the name is very creative because it skips the track. So oh, I missed it, I'm sorry. I fell off the railing. So usually what's supposed to happen is I'm supposed to land on the railing, and then I drop off to the side and basically like skip to this part of the track right here. I unfortunately kind of misaimed the railing and fell off, so I couldn't attempt it, but it skips like this small, like, curvy section that I just went through and got stuck horribly on the walls because I never practiced that section because I usually do track skip. But yeah, the next skip that's coming up is on the act transition, basically when I get out of the kart. So on the act transition, Sonic falls down a hole, and if you stay in ball form during that, you can, as the act transitions, you can homing attack, and that prevents you from getting into a roller coaster that the game tries to lock you into. But if you homing attack out of it, you can skip that. So I hope I get this. It's coming up here. Okay, this is sad. I actually got it, and then I screwed up the setup to continue it properly, so this is really unfortunate, but oh well. There's also a cool skip you can do even without this. So basically there's like a whole castle that you're supposed to move here, and no matter if you do the roller coaster skip or not, you can skip all of this. Just if you do roller coaster skip, you also skip the roller coaster, as the name suggests. So basically I can just use a whole lot of slope spin dash jumps to skip basically going around the castle a couple times to climb to the top, and like this I can just get to the top right away. That was a really bad Twinkle Park, unfortunately, but you get the idea. So card section, then roller coaster skip, and then just skip to the end of the stage. So next up we have Speed Highway. So you see these ID card that just drop down there in the grass. You're supposed to pick that up, and that lets you into the stage entrance, the intended one, but there's another one here that you can use. So this entrance is supposed to be used for Knuckles. Sonic isn't supposed to use it, but if we use it with Sonic by clipping into the wall, we can get into the stage a little faster. So right here again, using my basic movement mechanics to skip a lot of stuff. So yeah, with like spin dashing and jumping and hovering, you can make a lot of distance and skip a lot of things with just basically your standard movement. So that's really cool. That was Act 1, and now we have Act 2, which is basically just we roll down this building. There's a speed shoes capsule here, which I've been told makes you go faster, but I'm not sure by how much, because you don't really see a difference, but apparently it makes you go faster. But yeah, that's Act 2 basically, that's all there is to it. And Act 3, you use, once again, a couple more slopes to get around a lot of things, get a lot of height to skip over buildings, and that's the end of the stage. That was a really clean Speed Highway. Well, the middle section was a bit sloppy, but other than that, pretty good. Sub 110 is nice. Alright, now we head to the next stage with it, which is Red Mountain. For that we have to go a little bit over the hub world. Gonna head to the casino area, which makes the story progress some more. And then I can head to the next stage. So I have to go back to the Mystic Ruins now. So I have to take the train. There we go. So this robot abducted Amy, and Sonic wants to save her. And I forgot the reason, but Sonic goes to Red Mountain for this. To get into Red Mountain, you have to pick up this upgrade right here. This allows you to charge up a spin dash and then do the light speed attack, which you need to destroy this monkey in the cage, which opens the level. You actually have to destroy this monkey. You can't clip, well, you can clip past the gate. But the loading zone for the level doesn't exist if you don't kill the monkey, so there's no way around that. But yeah, this level is one of my favorite levels to play. Lots of really cool jumps and movements. Just letting ourselves get launched over here. Camera change, and the next section is full of neat jumps to skip a whole lot of things. So, there's a really long casual path you have to take here, but you can do these spin dash jumps to get around basically all of that and jump straight into this hole to get to the next act. Now in this act, the core part is this room here, which has like rising lava levels as you move around it, and you're supposed to kind of like move around the room a couple times while the lava rises and you can progress. But if you use the platforms on the bottom to give yourself a slope, you can basically use that to spin dash jump all the way to the top of the room immediately and skip all of that. And that's the end of Red Mountain. Alright, so now continues our plane section. So now once again, perfect time for any announcements or donations or anything like that, if somebody donated in the meantime.
Very well, I'm not seeing anything on the list at this time.
Alright, yeah, I guess I can talk a bit about the timing method of this game, because it's quite interesting in this game. So on the leaderboards for the PC version, this game is timed by in-game time. But if you look closely, you'll notice all the in-game times are higher than the real times. And that might seem weird, and you would be correct to assume that this is weird. But this is SADX, so obviously it's gonna be weird, because this game is just like that.
So even the timer has to go fast? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, so the deal with this game is it runs at frame rate slightly higher than 60 FPS, so somewhere between 60 and 63. And that makes the real-time speed faster of the game. So the problem is the frame rate it runs at isn't fully consistent, and it differs between players and their individual setups. So that's obviously horrible for like competition, because everyone has different frame rates and you randomly save or lose time. So what the community for this game uses is an in-game timer that's not actually just an in-game timer, but it counts the frames of the game and then converts them to a 60 FPS real time. And because the game is running at higher than 60 FPS and the in-game time is assuming 60 FPS, the in-game time ends up being higher than the real time, even though the in-game time stops on load screens. So yeah, this game is pretty funny. But yeah, this is an old PC game. This version came out in 2004, I think. So yeah, you often have like weird stuff going on with old PC games. So I think we're already coming up to the end of the autoscroller here. Sonic is just passing through under the egg carrier one last time, and we have a small mini boss at the end of this. So the mini boss is the only place you can actually lose time on this autoscroller. Not a lot though, but it's no big deal. But yeah, you're supposed to shoot this, but if you lock onto these targets first, before you just start mashing the shoot button, you avoid getting hit by the laser, and it's like a tiny bit faster. So that's the only thing interesting to this whole autoscroller. But yeah, now things get more interesting again. Now we officially made it to the end game of the run.
This thing is really huge.
So now we're on the egg carrier, and egg carrier has the possibly most infamous level of this run. Huge run ender as well. Lots of stuff that can go wrong. It's called Skydeck. Lots of jank that can happen mechanically, just in terms of how the level is designed. And any mistake can easily cause you a death, because everything is above Endless Void. So if you fall down, you just die. So very difficult level. But I'm gonna do my best to get through this. So using a lot of spin dash jumps again to get around things a bit more quickly. Spin dash jump over here, take this rocket. Then I hit the bomb here to destroy these enemies. I'll hit the checkpoint for safety. It's a bit slower to do it, but just in case. And now this section right here, there's a giant cannon in the middle, and you're supposed to get kind of like chased by it as you move around. But you can just go around here and land on this, and then go over here, and that skips this whole section, and you immediately get to the end of it. And this transitions you over to Act 2, where you kind of have to fight a lot of stuff that makes you want to go slow, like these cannons that explode, and wind and everything. But if you manage to move through here pretty quickly, you can avoid most of that. And now at the end of this, there's another big cannon that we have to shoot into to destroy. And it's a bit random. We got good luck here, so I immediately managed to hit it, so that's really fast, that's nice. And on the last section, there's like the ship tilting all the time, so you kind of have gravity shenanigans going around here. But you can once again use a lot of spin dash jumps to skip most of that. And you can also hit this capsule early, the way you just saw me get close to that. but I unfortunately missed it, so you have to kind of time it before the ship turns around. And if you mistime it, you can actually soft lock the game, so better not do that. So the problem is, if you finish the level, you lose control over Sonic, but then if Sonic doesn't land on what the game considers to be a floor, the level never ends and the game never transitions to what's supposed to happen next. So since the ship is tilting there, if you hit the cannon and then like land on the fence of the area while the ship is tilting, the fence is treated as like an object and not as a floor. So the game doesn't consider that to be a floor, and you just get stuck there the whole time, and that's really bad. But yeah, now I have to find Eggman's control room, where I'm going to switch back the transformation of the egg carrier, and that allows me to get to the next boss fight, which is once again Chaos. Except this time in a slightly less annoying form. Chaos 6. So this boss is on paper really easy, but in practice there's a lot of ways this can go wrong. So Eggman throws these weird like metal things around, and you can pick them up and throw them at Chaos. And they freeze Chaos, and then you can hit him. If you charge up this attack, you can get a double hit, and you can turn this from a 4-hit fight into a 2-hit fight. Unfortunately, this attack has like a weird habit of not doing what you want it to do. So it's very easy to accidentally do a normal hit, like I did right here. So we're gonna have to see if we can get a backup thing really quick. Yep, okay, so that's time loss. Yeah, so this is what you want to avoid. So if you get the hits really quickly, you can basically skip all the attack patterns. But if you get unlucky and miss a hit or something and don't get a backup quick enough, you can get into one of these really slow attack cycles, which is not supposed to happen, but a lot of things happen this run. So I guess this was bound to happen. But yeah, we have 2 more levels left. One of them is Lost World, which is also a really difficult level. So at the beginning we go through some tunnels here, which is also one of the few instances of RNG, because there's this fire tunnel where you have random fire blocks popping out. But I got a weird camera, so they stopped working, so that's cool. You don't see where you're going, but the camera makes the blocks not give you hits, like not have collisions, so that's cool. And now here I'm gonna use, once again, some more slopes to skip this whole room. So usually you're supposed to go up here and hit a bunch of switches to change the water level and open the door, but we can just do this and get to the end and clip through the door and skip all of that. This room right here, you're supposed to move mirrors around to light up the room. But if you already know how the room looks, you can also just use a couple of spin dash jumps to get past that without doing any of the mirror shenanigans. And we get closer to the end of the stage right here. This is a boulder. And this boulder rubber bands really bad, so you have to be very careful with spin dashing here, because if you spin dash and then suddenly slow down, the boulder just smacks into you with extremely high speed, and you most likely die. The final room of this level has a lot of gravity platforms that you can change, that you can walk up, and you can use these once again to do some spin dash jumps to get high up and then fall back down. And get to the end of this section in this tunnel, and that's the end of this. Not a bad Lost World. Only real mistake was falling down, getting into the tunnel, but pretty good. Now we have a little bit of Hub World. And now we can head to the final level, So we go to Eggman's hidden base now, which is a giant tower with a lot of lights in the middle of the jungle. So not very hidden, but he's doing his best. This puzzle lets us enter the level. And this level has 3 acts once again. We're only gonna see the first one, really. The second one and third one we skip completely. So what I'm gonna do as I get into Act 2, I'll turn around immediately and go backwards. And the developers didn't think you could just go backwards. And so they didn't put a wall there to prevent you from going out of bounds. So you can just go out of the level here like this and just fall down to the end of Act 2. Like this. And at the end of Act 2 is an elevator, so I'm just gonna jump down the elevator shaft and try to time a restart. Come on. There we go. So that puts me in the elevator directly without dying. And now, as soon as I get out of the elevator, I can get on top of it and just spin that jump out of bounds here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn. And that's the end of the stage. So that was all of Final Act. The stage is usually really, really long, but luckily now it's not long anymore. Anyways, this is the final boss. The final boss takes a long time, unfortunately. And it's very easy to die, and if you die you lose a lot of time, so I'm gonna do my best to not do that. You basically have to sit through a bunch of attack patterns, and then get some really spooky hits over the death pit, and it's very easy to miss them and die. So I'll just try to focus here and not make any bad mistakes. There's the laser. Homing attack? Okay, that was incredibly weird. I missed the hit, then I got a backup, and then the homing attack did weird things. So I'm not sure what the hell this was, but I'm alive, so I'm happy. Yeah, these spin dash jumps are pretty scary. Very easy to mistime them as well. Now he does something different. I'm gonna get hit here on purpose to skip an attack cycle, except I forgot I didn't have rings, so that's very smart of me, so my bad. Guess we're gonna do that again. Sorry about that. Fun boss. Always good when you're supposed to damage boost and you don't have any damage you can take. Yeah, I hope I don't die now. Dying twice to this would be embarrassing. But I'm doing my best. Oh no. This just didn't happen. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm so sorry. This is wasting so much time. This boss has been going too well for me lately. Of course it had to completely screw me over now. Ugh. Okay. It's fine. We're still on pace for underestimate, so if I don't die now, we should be good.
Honestly, I'm with Chad on blaming the game for that one.
There's a lot of things you can blame the game on, but honestly, it's for the most part pretty consistent if you know what to do, but sometimes I just don't know what I'm doing. That just happens sometimes, I guess.
Get a load of this. Get a load of this.
Okay, this time I have rings, so I can actually take the hit.
It's no use.
Get rings back, go back in the middle. Alright, we're past this part of the boss, and now it's got a little easier,
Get a load of
luckily, so I hope we're in the clear now. So now he's sending these spinny platforms, and he's kind of like throwing them at you, but you can just jump on top of them and hit him like that. Usually you're supposed to wait until the platforms come to you, but you can just immediately jump on them. And now for the last hit, I actually have to wait for the platform to come to me, otherwise I just fall to my death.
He's not gonna get away with this.
And that's the last hit, and now he does a final attack where, while he exploding, tries to drop himself on me. But if I just stand here, he never hits me and you always survive. Only works on the PC version though. If you try that on Dreamcast, you die. So don't try that. But that's time, by the way. Sorry, I forgot to give a heads up, but yeah, that's time. Yeah, that was a mess. I'm sorry for wasting so much time there at the end, but I hope you had fun with the run anyways. We made it underestimate, so it's not as bad as it could be. But yeah, that's Sadek's Sonic story. And I hope you had fun with the run, and yeah, I'm super excited for the race that's coming up next, the 4-way Sonic 06 race. That's super hype. Please keep watching that. It's amazing. And once again, thank you so much for the marathon staff for having me. It's been a pleasure to be here, and yeah, good luck with the rest of the marathon.
Well, thank you, Nimputs, for those runs, and GG on both of those.
Thank you.
And as you said, yes, up next we will have Sonic 06.